Guys, I'm here to tell you something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've gone in over my waders God knows how many times. I used to ruin a pair or two of waders a year, and if you've ever done it, you know, one, it's incredibly scary, and two, it makes your waders pretty much obsolete. You can smell them from across the room. It's a terrible, terrible smell. You can't bring them back into the house. So then what that means is they're always cold and they're always kind of wet. So I'm going to teach you today what you're supposed to do if you go in over your waders. And let me just start with, I was always growing up with an ammo belt where you have your shotgun shells around your waist and whatever. And what that does is it cuts off any water from going in over your waders. That's not what we used it for. However, I found out through many days of falling in off the boat, tripping on a log, a stick, a rock, anything like that, your water stops here. And so the reason why you want to wear a wader belt or an ammo belt, people wear them really loose. And let me tell you, you need to tighten that stuff up, because if water gets into your waders, you're in serious trouble, especially if you're in deep water. If you're in deep water, all that water comes in and it suctions to your body. And I can't explain to you how scary it is, because you're trying to kick and you're trying to get out of the water and you realize you're just moving your legs inside of water, and it takes way longer for your legs to actually kick and move water to get back up to the surface. And so you have to stay calm. Going back to the wader belt, I'm serious. Wader belt or an ammo belt, and make sure it's tight around your waist, especially if you're like diver hunting or if you're in deep water. Obviously, number one is to wear a life jacket if you're going in a boat, but we're duck hunters, you know, so it's not really at the forefront of our brains, especially not at 2 to 4 a.m. And so I'm telling you, wader belt, ammo belt. But if you don't have that on you, what you need to do is stay calm, because your body's going to go into shock and you're definitely going to swallow some water, especially if it's cold. And you just have to remember how to swim, kind of, because you have an extra 100 and 200 pounds connected to your legs once all that water goes in your waders. I went in the water in Nebraska, and I'm watching my friends stand 2 feet from me in about ankle deep water, and I started slipping in the boat, and I slipped, and I saw my friends in ankle deep water. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna, instead of slipping on a banana peel, I just tipped over the boat. And what ended up happening is it was 4 feet deep right there, and where they were, it was only ankle deep. So I brought in all this water through my left side. And now, mind you, it was -11 outside, and it was freezing. And I was terrified. So the first thing that I did is I took off my waders. I got to dry land as fast as I could. Got to dry land, took off my clothing, dumped the waders out of water, and then I got completely naked on the sandbar. And you're thinking, that's insane because it's -11 out. However, if you're wearing wet clothing and it's to your body, I can tell you, you need to get the water out of your clothing, because that wind, when it's cutting into that cold clothing, that wet clothing, you're going to get sick really quick, and your body temperature can't regulate because it's cold outside. Your body's trying to stay at 98.6, and what ends up happening is your body temp drops really fast. So what I did is I got completely naked on the sandbar, took a panel blind, wrapped it around me, and I fired up all 3 heaters. And I wrung out all of my clothing, and body parts went inside of my body. Wrung out all the water that I could, took off my socks, literally got completely naked on the sandbar. And then I put my waders back on, I put everything back on, and I was fine. I was able to stay out there until about 4:30 in the afternoon, which was sunset. And I'm 100% sure that the only reason why I was able to stay out there for so long is because I had a windproof and waterproof jacket that kept the wind from getting my core cold. And then I wrung out all the water out of my clothing, and there was a lot of water. Yeah. Apparently, the correct way when you fall in the water and it's deep is to remain calm, like I said before, but you're also supposed to tighten your wader belt or your ammo belt as much as you can. That creates buoyancy in your waders, and you're supposed to lift your legs up, and it will bring you to the surface, and you can back paddle upwards. I tell you what, if I'm falling in the water, never gonna remember that, ever. So the only thing that I have to say is do that if you can remember it, if you're not already in shock. But probably the number one thing is to remain calm, because supposedly your mental state can kill you. And then once you fall in the water, depending on how cold it is, get out as fast as you can. So especially in rivers, a lot of people don't understand The current is kind of scary. It's kind of when you're in the ocean too, where the riptide will yank you out. You're supposed to stay calm and let the current take you and then escape, if that makes sense. Cal wants me to end this video by saying something nice about us, and I have nothing nice to say about us, so I wouldn't follow us on any social media. I wouldn't subscribe. I definitely wouldn't check out our podcast because we're dumb. So, no thank you for watching.